Alrighty, hello YouTube. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Cryptic Coil, and in today's video, I'm going to do a pretty small book haul, just because I haven't done anything on my channel in a little while, so I'm just, making a small little book haul video. Um, most of these, uh, most of these books are going to be repeats, but there are a couple of cool ones that I didn't already have. Give me just a sec while I take a sip of coffee from my Pantera coffee mug. Alrighty, so let me get into the book haul. Alright, so here's one that I didn't have. I'm working on completing my Point Horror collection, and I didn't have Homecoming Queen by John Hall. So I ended up ordering both online. I wanted the British cover and I wanted the American cover. Well, the British cover came in and it's in like excellent condition. I mean, there's a slight little crease on the spine, but it's totally negligible. Cover's in great condition. The spine is perfectly healthy and holding on to all the pages as well as it did the day the book was printed, which is awesome. What's not awesome is when I ordered the American cover, they accidentally swapped my order with someone else's order, so I got some random book that I didn't need or want. And I sent them a message and I was like, can you send me a return label so I can send it back to you? And they issued me a refund and let me keep the book. And I was like, well, send me a return label. I'll package it up. Put it in the mailbox. I'll send it back to you. And they were like, nah, we don't really do that. And I was like, okay. So I do still want the American cover, but for now, having the British cover is perfectly fine. All right, so these are all repeats because my Fear Street collection is mostly complete. I just need some more Fear Street sagas and some more. Oh, what is it? I need some more Ghosts of Fear Street. Otherwise, my Fear Street collection is pretty much complete. By pretty much, I mean it is minus the sagas and the Ghosts of Fear Street. But I found some really interesting stuff out in the wild yesterday. Okay, so I found three Fear Street books at the thrift store that's closest to my apartment. I found another copy of Ski Weekend, and it's in okay condition. The cover's not doing too bad at all. Spine is perfectly healthy. Cover's not that beat up at all. I have another copy of Ski Weekend. I think that this is a first printing, if I'm not mistaken. So that's cool. I need to find out if I. So here's the thing, with my First Street collection, I have a whole bunch of I have what I call my collection. Okay, so those are my collector's copies. Most of them are in like very good near mint or mint condition. There might be a couple that are a little bit beat up, and if so, it's only because they're kind of rare, and I just haven't ever been able to find, or I haven't pulled the trigger on buying like a copy in good condition. But most of them are like very good near mint or mint. Then I have my reading copies, and my reading copies are I try to find beat up ones to add to my reading copy collection, and then if I end up with a third, I'll either give it away, trade it, or sell it. So I need to find out what to do with these. But here's Ski Weekend. Then I got Truth or Dare. So I'm pretty sure I already have a reading copy and a collector's copy of this one. I think that this one might be a first edition as well. It's in like super good condition. The only flaw is at the bottom. Like you can kind of see where the spine meets the cover. There's that little like if you're not careful with it, it can rip the cover off the page. But I think that's acceptable. All right, and then the third Fear Street book that I found out in the wild yesterday, I thought nearby thrift store, was The Third Horror. I think that I already have a backup or a reading copy of the first horror. I'm not sure if I have the second horror or the third horror in the 99 Fear Street series or not. So I need to go check on that. All right, let's see. So then I found something that I didn't already have. I found this Goosebumps Most Wanted Special Edition number 2, and it's called The 12 Screams of Christmas, which is super awesome. That I didn't have this one already, and it's in pretty good condition. I mean, there's a little bit of wear and tear on the cover, but it's not bad. The spine is holding up just great, just dandy. Yeah, it's not too bad, not too shabby at all. So definitely adding this one to the collection. Just I've never read any of the Most Wanted series, but my Most Wanted series is nearly complete. Adding this one just gets me a little bit closer. But there's no tagline on the front. Let's go ahead and read the synopsis on back. Ho ho horror. Kate Wells just wants the lead role in her school's Christmas play. Her annoying friend, Courtney, is constantly getting in the way of that, but Kate has to get along with her, or else neither of them will be allowed to take part in the production of the 12 Screams of Christmas. Even worse, Kate and Courtney's teacher decides that they need to find a special place to rehearse, a certain house with a lot of history, the kind of place that Kate would normally be pretty frightened to go into, the kind of place that gives new meaning to the term Christmas spirit. All right, that sounds interesting. This sounds like a good Christmas read. Gee, I wonder what house they're talking about. Could it be the Fear Mansion? Probably not, because Goosebumps is printed by Scholastic and Fear Street is printed by Archway, so I think there might be copyright issues there, but that would be pretty dope if it did turn out to be a Fear Mansion. Oh, I just realized there's a flaw in my cover. Look, some paint had been peeled off with a sticker at some point. So I'm probably not the second owner of this book. I could be the third or fourth or fifth or sixth or whatever. All right. Here's another repeat. I don't know if I already have this book in this cover or not because these books were reprinted with different covers, but I found another Alan Zulo Haunted Teachers, and this one is called True Ghost Stories. I do eventually want to read these just for the, you know, short stories, but I don't believe in the supernatural or anything like that. And so I really hate it when they make a movie about like ghosts and they tell you based on a true story, or when they do that with books, because I don't believe in ghosts. So that usually turns me off. It's like, if you want to sell me a ghost story, fine. But the moment you try to tell me that it's real, we're not doing that. But let's see what short stories are inside this one. Okay, so number 1, The Phantom Rider. Number 2, The Curse of the Egyptian Bone. Number 3, The Ghostly Friend. Number 4, Time of Death. Number 5, Dead Man's Shadow. Number 6, The Mysterious Tapper. And lastly, number 7, Heroine from the Beyond. And it looks like this book was copyrighted in 1996. Almost 30 years old. All right, this was an exciting find, except, guys, I have so much stuff now. I don't even know what I have. Once in a while, I'll pick something up and bring it home and be like, oh, I already had it. And I don't know if this is one of those things or not, but this one is a Scholastic Apple paperback from J.B. Stamper. Yeah, most of us know J.B. Stamper because of his Midnight Hour trilogy in the Point Horror series, but he wrote a little Apple paperback of short stories called Night Frights, 13 Scary Stories. And this is in like perfect condition. This book has never been read. And it's from the year 1993. Let's just see what. Let's just read the synopsis on the back. Check the shadows in your room. Pull a blanket closer around you. Then let your imagination fly to the darkest corners of your mind. These are the night frights. Stories to tell around a leaping campfire. Stories to tell to friends in the dark. Stories for you to read all alone at night. Night frights. All right. So let's find out what stories these are. Oh, they got okay. So Graveyard Dare. All right. Story number 2, Bloody Mary. Story number 3, Cold Bony Fingers. Story number 4, The Mysterious Visitor. Story number 5, The Witch's Paw, as opposed to the monkey's paw, I guess. All right, story number 6, The Corpse's Revenge. That sounds dope. All right, story number 7, Coming to Get You. Story number 8, Stop That Coffin. Okay, that sounds dope. Story number 9, Nightmare. Story number 10, The Stranger. Story number 11, Mummies. Story number 12, Bloody Bones. And lastly, story number 13, Nightwoods. All right, that sounds good. I don't know if I already have a copy of that or not. I'm gonna have to check. Okay, here's another repeat. Okay, it has been years since I've found a Spine Tinglers by MT Coffin book out in the wild, and I already own a copy of this one. Okay, and it's book number 10 in the series, The Dead Kid Did It. Great cover, great sounding title. I've already hauled this book in the past. I've already read the synopsis and everything on the front cover. I have a video on my channel where I reviewed one of the Spine Tinglers books. It was book number 5, Check It Out and Die, and I showed off the rest of my collection in that. So if you want to know more about this book, I would suggest you check out that video. All right, but yeah, now I have a backup copy of that, so awesome. All right. And this is another repeat, but I couldn't resist because it's an ex-library copy in hardback, and it's an R.L. Stine. It's The First Day of School Forever. And yeah, so it's always really fun whenever you find one of these books like in hardback. So I'm glad I did. This is from a local elementary school, and I used to know a kid who went to this elementary school. He was that kid that lived in my neighborhood that none of the other kids liked, and he couldn't take a hint. He didn't know how to act. He was an only child, and he would always follow us, and like we'd be screaming. He was like our Steve Urkel. We're like, go home, go home, go home. And you would think that he would have been like, I don't have to take this. I'm going home. He never did. He never did. I think that he was the second kid I ever got into a fist fight with. And it wasn't much of a fist fight. He outweighed me by like 100 pounds. He mauled me, choked me out. But yeah, he went to this elementary school. That's where this book came from. Yeah, sorry, that was just a trip down memory lane. I know, I went off the rails. I apologize for that. Anyway, then second to last, the penultimate book in my haul. Penultimate means second to last, and it just makes me feel fancy when I use that word. As I sip coffee from my Pantera coffee mug. All right, so I found a vintage Apple paperback in mint condition, and it's called Merry Christmas, Miss McConnell by Colleen Oshak Hennessy McKenna. I butchered that name. Colleen O'Shaughnessy McKenna. If you know, you know. All right. And this is by the author of Too Many Murphys. And let me just read the tagline on the front, then I'll show you the cover. How could their new teacher hate Christmas? Wow, this was clearly written in a very different time. All right. So that's the cover. Looks like you see three kids standing front and center. I'm guessing they're the main characters. Then you see a teacher wearing all black, surrounded by some other students who look worried, intrigued, and curious. Have a look at that one more time. Yeah, this is in mint condition. Oh, look. On the back it says, Scrooged. Meg Stafford loves Christmas until mean Miss Connell comes to teach her fifth grade class. Suddenly, Meg's always in trouble, and she's not the only one. Why doesn't Miss McConnell like them? Meg and her friends want to be in the Christmas pageant at the mall more than anything this year, but Miss McConnell says no. Will the class ever be able to convince Miss McConnell to change her mind? Can Meg and her classmates save Christmas? All right, that sounds cute. This is from the year 1990. Wow, it's in mint condition, so I won't be reading it. All right, then I have one more book, and it's the only adult book that I picked up. Most of this is from yesterday's haul, except for the John Hall Homecoming Queen. So most of these came from that thrift store that I went to yesterday. But this one has a dope title. It's called Blood of the Children. Okay, I love children for the record, but like, in fiction, I mean, that's a pretty metal title, okay? Blood of the Children by Alan Rogers. Okay, look at that cover. It's a very interesting, very pretty, kind of dark, compelling cover. Wow, it's got like a rose, like a black rose, but there's like all these faces, and it's totally embossed. Like, can you see that? Like, that is just so cool. The tagline on the front reads, "The town of Greenhill has a horrifying secret." And this is a Bantam Books publishing. And look at the back cover. That's a little unfortunate, but hey, it's a good reading copy. All right. So, here's the synopsis on the back. In the small town of Greenhill, all children belong to an evil, magical, and entirely secret cult. For generations, every child in Greenhill has belonged to this cult until he or she reaches puberty. Then all evil and all memory of evil acts committed disappears. Only the children know of the ceremonies that take place on the moonlit nights and in the caves that lie underneath the town's foundations. Ben Tompkins had never seen a nicer bunch of people than the ones he met in Greenhill. That's why he decided to move himself and his son, Jimmy, there when his wife had a horrifying mental breakdown. Ben doesn't know about the children of Greenhill, but Jimmy is about to discover their terrifying secret and pay the price for that knowledge. Looks like he got an excerpt on the back from some author named J.N. Williamson, author of Hellstorm. Remarkable. A novel of horror that exceeds the word intense. It's as if layers of horror are being peeled away as you turn the pages. Okay, that does sound interesting. Let's see, did I find some treasures? I got 3 square pieces of white paper. I'll take it. Just kidding. All right. I've never heard of Alan Rogers before, but this book is from January 1990. Oh man, it was written in the 80s, and then right when it got published, it was a brand new decade. So this is 80s horror. The cover art copyright is from 1989, and that does look like, some 80s artwork. Well, anyway, yeah, this was an exciting find, and I really want to read it because this sounds horrific. Okay, this sounds horrifying, and this is something that I hope I get to read this year. All right, well, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. I got a busy morning, and I got to get stuff done today because it's Sunday, and I got to go to work tomorrow morning. But this was a pretty fun haul. It was small, but it was pretty fun, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Well, thank you guys for watching. Horns up and peace out.